Hey, Blue Table fans, we have a little growth chart here going for you today, so hopefully you'll have some fun with this, because I know I did. Down here we have a little rice hat wearing grot with the, I call them catechans, other people call them catechans, Terminator, Ultramarines of course, and we have a nice Orc War Boss going over to the Killican, a nice Forge World Commander, Tau Commander, the Siege Dreadnought, up to a Def Dread, and of course one of the largest models you're going to get in a normal game of 40k, the Dread Knight. Oh, and then they're all dwarfed by the Warhound. And if you want a little bit bigger, of course, we have a Reaver Titan sitting over here for you. Now you've already seen this, we've already pulled it apart and everything for you. Just to show you, we did add magnets to this, so it's not going to turn now. No, not as easy. I got to cut these down. These pins, if you look, are just a little bit big, and it interferes with the magnet just a little bit. But of course, this comes all apart again still. We did cut down the base for the client's request to get kind of minimum footprint here. Added a couple extra things, and just tried to make it look a little bit better.
Oh, the tank traps, those are nice.
Yeah, the tank traps really add something to it. Just a little extra flair, because these are going to be painted to a really high level. And if you look at the board here, it's very uneven underneath it. And he wobbles a little bit, but he's not going to fall over. Like I can, you know, the whole table is shaking when he moves. That's awesome.
That's huge.
Yeah, so he's absolutely
I can't
huge.
get over that. That just takes up like a whole quarter of the table.
Yeah, it's scary looking down here and thinking that you're going to try to throw a couple of Terminators towards him. I think I'd run the other way. So, the Warhounds, pivoting here as well. Let me just throw stuff around. The inside has got this cool grate. Actually, Forge World sends that with. They've got magnet points here. The client requested that they have Tau multi-trackers on all of them. In fact, forgot to mention that on the Reaver. This goes there. And then on the Warhounds, it's going to go up there. So it's not too obtrusive, but they still work for whatever his purposes are. All right, so on the inside of the Warhounds, tip it up here so you can see there's tons and tons of detail. Now this, we've actually left out. It's kind of stiff. It's actually supposed to be glued in, but to make it easier on the painter to get in and get some detail, because there is a little Aquila there, Aquila, whatever you want to call it, however you pronounce it. Okay, you got the exhaust. And inside here, this is so cool. This platform right underneath the door, on the sides, I don't know if you can make out the detail, but there's chains on there. The idea is that this entire platform right in front of this doorway is going to lower down to ground level to raise you up inside it. It's so cool. And also, it's got servitors on each side. Now, these guys are firing the guns. And it didn't occur to me until we did the Warhounds that the servitors inside here are controlling the guns for the Reaver as well.
Let's see if we can see inside there.
Yeah, it's really tough.
Yeah.
But they're awesome. Now you'll notice we don't have the guns on here, and that's because we're waiting on special order of magnets to come in for these. We do have 8 total guns for these two. And, in fact, you know what, I'm just going to bring the whole bin up here just to show you. Let's do a little size comparison here. Or even the Warhound version versus that. I mean, it's just insane, the size difference. And if you look on the bottom of these, we've got magnets on each one of these guns. Now those are for the banners, because we do have banners that are going to be painted up. Right now you'll notice the chain isn't in here because it's drying right now. We've got the chain so it's stiff, so when we attach it to the banner they're not going to go flopping and be too difficult to really to work with. A bunch of extra little pieces, like these are the door pieces here that are used to cover up the servitor. But you got to be able to get in there and paint them first. These pieces here will cover up this. Once we get the magnets in, we'll put those on. But they'll all be painted up. Now these pieces here are actually designed to go right in here. But if this is glued all together, there's no way the painter can get in there and paint all this cool detail. So that's why we leave those off as well. Same thing with the head. This is my favorite head in all of Forge World. It's so cool. Head pops off, and inside you have a mock AT-AT. You got the guys with the pilot, or the helmets here with the, looks like a rogue trader to me. But inside there's tons of detail on the gauges. Just beautiful work. And of course the leg plates, move these back out of the way here. The leg plates we left off too, so the painter could get in here and paint all the pistons. But there's a ton of detail on these things. You've got the ribbon, the giant two-headed eagle, and this side, just detail upon detail upon detail. Now one thing that I think particularly sad, not only about these, but the Reaver as well, is the detail you never see, and that's on the bottom of the feet. The middle toes on each one of these Warhounds looks like a miniature banner. It would be so cool to have the foot high enough so you could actually see that detail. And on this one, I don't know if you can see too much of the detail, but you can see a little bit of it up underneath there.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
And that's probably the least detailed of all the feet. So, one other thing too that we made a decision on is the guns all come with resin tubes and hoses that are supposed to connect the gun to the body. The problem is these aren't designed to be modular and movable. So if you turned the guns with those resin hoses on there, they would either break off or they just wouldn't look right. It would just be horrible. Ren and I thought about getting maybe some black surgical tubing and somehow attaching magnets to both ends so you could move it and stretch it and take it off. But I'm not quite sure if that's going to work or not. I want to do it on a test before I try it out on these for real. So, but that having been said, these are almost ready for paint, and they're absolutely huge, and they've been a lot of fun. So hopefully you've got some inspiration for the day.
Titan size inspiration.
Yes. Oh, you know what we should do? Here we go. Let's put the little guy
Next to the big one.
right there. There we go. There's his bane.